Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the area director for the Northeast Valley for BNI Arizona. And today's topic is all about substitutes. So I know that Nate Dominguez sent out an email recently about substitutes. So I wanted to go over some details around that and give you guys some education and information about substitutes, why they're so important, and also how it affects you long term. So I want to welcome everyone to the education for today. Please make sure that you share this with your chapters. One thing that we're doing for BNI Arizona is making sure that we have that constant and consistent communication with chapters all over town. So I'm so glad that we have so many followers to the Wisdom Wednesday, so that way you guys are all getting the same education across the board. So, substitutes. They're awesome, right? They help us with attendance, and when done correctly, really help us with our credibility in our chapters. And that's the key thing, guys. So, if you saw Nate's email, we want to make sure that we are not using first-time visitors as substitutes. And I know I mentioned this in one of my past Wisdom Wednesday videos. But why is that important, guys? We want to make sure that we're creating the best visitor experience when it comes to first-time visitors coming into the meeting. So that's why Nate's message is so important, because we have been getting some negative feedback, because I don't know if you guys remember, but one of the biggest fears that people have is public speaking. I know I was deathly afraid of talking in front of a chapter when I first joined BNI 9 years ago. And it's gotten better over time. We want to make sure that we're giving them, I don't know, some protection, or giving them some time to enjoy themselves on their first visit. I know when I first visited and someone asked me to be a substitute for someone that I didn't even know, I would be clueless on what to do, and I would be so worried to be able to pay attention to the meeting on exactly when I needed to talk when. So let's just not ask first-time visitors to be substitutes. Plus, guys, when you're asking a first-time visitor to your meeting to be a substitute for a member, and they have no clue who that member is, how is that going to be build credibility for that member if they have no clue who that person is? And hopefully they do a good job representing their business, hopefully. I've seen times where we've asked a first-time visitor to be a sub at a meeting, and this was a couple years ago, but they literally stood up and said, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do. I guess I'm supposed to read this script here about this member. I'm filling in for Steve with the IT department. Obviously, you can tell just from me reading that person had no clue about that person's business, because one, it wasn't the IT department. It was one of the IT people, one of the technology people in the chapter. And that does not build credibility, guys, for that member's business at all. It's better just to have an absence in the chapter than to ruin someone's credibility with having an awful substitute. So, on that note, who would make, and you can comment below too, who would make an awesome substitute? I'm going to watch for responses, guys, since I have the video pointed to me. So, that's correct, Adrian. They normally don't even get the name right, and it's very rare when they do. So who would make a great substitute, guys? Comment below. I know I've got multiple watchers right now, so if you're listening, comment below on who would make an amazing substitute. Yep, the IT department. Well, a couple ideas for an amazing substitute is one of your clients or coworkers that know your business really well. Yep, exactly. Customers or suppliers for your business. Perfect, Cindy. Yes, these are perfect people. You guys, you want your substitute to know your business and to be able to talk to the entire chapter. Brian Lipschitz, yes, you would make an amazing substitute. You want to make sure they're going to be professional and represent your business to the max. Not Brian. It builds your credibility, guys, because BNI is all about the VCP, visibility, credibility, which equals profitability. The visibility is showing up, guys. Credibility is building those relationships, creating trust. If you're not showing up, you're first not getting that visibility, but if you're putting a substitute in your visibility spot that is butchering your business, that's not going to help your credibility, which will definitely hurt the profitability on the back end. So make sure to think about that. It's not just about attendance in a chapter. Yes, if you have a substitute or if you're absent, it does deduct points off the Power of One report, but we want to make sure that you're saving your credibility for your business, because that's what BNI is all about. It's building that credibility piece. So having that ideal substitute, it's going to be key for building relationships with BNI. So first-time visitors, make sure we're not asking first-time visitors, guys. I know that we wake up sick sometimes. I've seen a lot of posts on this page too looking for subs. That's great. Yes, coach them how to represent you. Yes, absolutely. The best thing to do is to coach your substitute on exactly what to do. Make sure that they're prepared for the meeting. Make sure that they know how the meeting goes. Make sure that they know that the first 15 minutes is open networking. They can network with other business professionals. Maybe even give them a couple ideas of some potential power partners in the chapter that they should connect with during open networking. That way they have a game plan going into the meeting of a couple people that they should be finding and introducing themselves to, or at least letting the visitor host know when they get to the meeting, saying, hey, you know what? Rebecca, I'm subbing for Rebecca today, and she said that I'm going to, I need to connect with Norm, and I need to connect with Warren. And so that way the visitor hosts know exactly who to connect that person with, so that way they can make those power partner connections in the meeting. And if their category is open in the meeting, guys, that leads to possibly them coming back and even applying to be a member of the chapter, because they can then see how valuable attending the meeting is, especially if they're going to connect with particular people and you're setting it all up. So how awesome would that be? There's kind of no, you're not intending them to apply, but them being your substitute at a meeting, you're like, hey, can you substitute for me and represent my business? And oh, hey, you should connect with these two people because I really think that they would be great power partners and will be able to help you grow your business. How awesome would that be, right? So let's strategize the substitute thing a little bit. Let's strategize it and create a better system around substitutes. And it is up to the members' responsibility to find their own substitutes. I know I mentioned it in one of my last videos. Let's make sure we're not bombarding our leadership teams with asking them if they can find substitutes for us. It's up to us. It's our responsibility to make sure that we find substitutes for ourselves. So let's make sure we do that, but strategize around. I know last minute substitutes, it's hard to find last minute help, but let's find a way to strategize things to make everything so much better, right? So not inviting, having first-time visitors to be a substitute. Get someone that's going to represent your business to the max, guys. I know I would not want someone that I didn't know representing my business in the BNI meeting, because my BNI members are my sales force. They're the ones that are going to be out there every single week finding referrals for me. So if I have someone sitting in my spot, substituting for me, representing my business, and they are awful, that is a bad credibility on my part. So let's make sure that we're being strategic about it. If BNI members are substituting for you from other chapters, that's awesome, because they definitely know the BNI way. Make sure to still prepare them about you and your business. And BNIers, so if you go and substitute at these other meetings, remember you can only give your presentation 2 times per year if your category is not filled in that chapter. I know I've been to many chapters lately, and I've seen those same substitutes from other chapters visiting those chapters, and they're continually giving their presentations about their business. You're already getting the visibility with being there and substituting for a member, so make sure that you're keeping to that rule, and that you can only give your presentation 2 times per year, even if you're substituting. And chapters, make sure that you go by this too. So if people are showing up at your chapter and giving their presentation more than 2 times a year, even if they're substituting for someone, we are so appreciative of those members that go around and substitute for other BNIers. But please make sure that you keep it to 2 times per year that you give your own presentation. And if you have questions about that, you can come see me or your director of your chapter. But that's across the board. You can still go and substitute more than twice, visit the chapter more than twice, but you cannot give your presentation more than twice. So you can go and sit in on the meeting if you'd like, substitute for the member, but that would be your only presentation time, is that member's presentation. So if you have questions about that, please let me know. The biggest thing about substitutes is making sure that it helps your credibility for you and your business. So when you're thinking of, oh, I'm going on vacation, I need a substitute, find someone that's going to be credible for you and your business to substitute in your spot, because that seat, you are the member, so you want to make sure that you are getting someone that is phenomenal to represent you and your business. That way you'll still be receiving referrals even when you're gone. See if I missed anything. Nope, I think that's it. So if you guys have questions, let me know. Great ways to find substitutes, clients, coworkers, vendors. One thing that I do is I go through my phone, and in my contacts, I go through my top 10 people that would make great substitutes for me, and I save the word sub in their profile. That way, if I ever need a substitute last minute, I can then scroll through my contacts, type in sub, and all of those contacts will come up. And I've already prepared them ahead of time, asking them if they'd be willing to substitute. So that way, if I ever come into a situation and I'm in a bind and I need a substitute, I can then contact one of those people and see if they're available. I highly recommend doing that, so that way all you have to do, it's all in your phone, you're preparing it way ahead of time. If you're going on vacations, you know ahead of time that you're going to be gone, so make sure that you prepare a substitute for that. We all know that we could wake up last minute sick. Maybe one of those subs that you program in your phone will actually be able to sub for you last minute. So that could be one of the questions too, to as you're making your sub list, say, hey, if I'm wake up sick one morning, would you be willing to sub for me last minute at my meeting? If it ever happens. And that way you can program that information in your phone too. That way if it ever comes up, you have that emergency substitute already lined up, and hopefully they'll be available if that time were to come. So I hope you guys enjoyed this information. Thank you, Rob. I'm glad you found this information really valuable. And I hope that you guys find every week valuable. Definitely make sure that you log the one chapter education unit for watching this video every single week. And you can also click on the video link on this BNI Arizona page if you want to see past Wisdom Wednesday videos as well. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week.